No, but it's the same one. It's like the same owner, the one that's in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
I usually get mine there, and we usually listen to a different girl. We have 2 cats.
Oh my god. How long ago did
It's
you
only
get
like 2 weeks.
That's so annoying.
And usually I do, I'm like Rasha, I do them on.
Oh, me too. I try to keep them on for a month.
No, same.
I hate sitting there.
I can't because they're like, they get all in there, and I'm like, you're hurting me. I'm like, you're really in there.
No, I know. They hurt sometimes too.
I have that sensitive, like, nail cuts.
Me too. Me too. And I like pick out my cuticles, which isn't good, but
Same.
yours looks good though. I mean, I've never noticed until. Oh.
I've had
Maybe
them
because they're really long. Oh yeah, I'm actually. Yeah.
No, they are really long. Because I don't want to pay the extra $10. Oh my god.
I am right. Well, I get it. And let's make money, so.
I'm cheap.
Yeah, we have to be cheap when you're working with us. Sad.
Yeah.
I live behind me. It's like,
That's why I get press-ons.
Oh yeah, do those work out?
These do. These are a new brand that I was trying. But I also get like, I'm allergic to some kind of chemical that they use. So, which, like, I still like to get my nails done. But I don't do it because it breaks out in blisters. And then I've gone to the urgent care a couple times for it.
that's crazy.
Yeah. This brand is Cleo Color, Kleo Kolor. And this is my second time using them. The last ones were long, and they stayed on for 2.5 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I still had to take them off. Like they didn't
Oh.
fall off. Yeah.
I tried press on once, and maybe it was for $58, $10, but I'm off Amazon, like pack 100. But they were
Yeah.
terrible.
I mean, like the brand is okay from Target, like Kiss
Yeah, yeah.
or Impress or whatever, but they just pop off a lot. Especially like I'm always reaching my bag, and they'll pop off when I'm reaching my bag.
Right.
But
There's like the magnetic ones that are from Ulta. They're kind of expensive, but I heard they're good.
I haven't tried those.
Yeah. Once I put them on before, but I put them on like upside down.
Oh.
I was like, this is the end of that. And then you feel gross when you don't have your nails on. I'm like, don't look at my nails.
Yes.
You know.
I feel like 10 minutes up there.
Oh, me too. Me too. Especially because my nails are ugly, so. I like them.
Everybody ready?
he has to like keep his phone like when he goes into like this certain room, he has to keep his phone out. Yeah, it's really cool. No, I know.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm here with OCWA Executive Director Jeff Brown to give an update on where we stand with the capital project. Also, today we had a water distribution effort in Fayetteville Manlius. I want to thank the Fayetteville Manlius community. Many of the volunteers who were giving out water were residents, student athletes, members of the lacrosse program were there. And a lot of volunteers. I think there were some town board members there as well. Essentially, we gave out over 3,400 cases of water today. Nobody was turned away. We still have plenty of water. We did this distribution as a conservation effort. Next week we have kids going back to school. We'll work with the school districts to make sure that they have plenty of bottled water for the students to use during the day. And so that's important. Also because of the work that OCWA has done, the partnerships that OCWA has solidified with the cities of Syracuse, Oneida, the town of DeWitt, and reworking the system, more water has gone into the reserves than has gone out, and that's because of the work that has been done, but also the conservation efforts of the community. So the reserves, when we started this process, were about 20%, if I'm correct, Jeff, and now they're 23, 24, 25%. So that's positive. So from the initial concern about losing water in a section of the community, for a period of time, at the current pace we're going, that's not going to happen if things continue to go well. I think obviously really key construction project that Jeff's going to go over. Needless to say, we've had some challenging weather over the last few days. I think we have had more snow already this year than probably we had all of last year. And it was our turn, and then it looks like our friends in Oswego County really felt it pretty hard over the last 24 hours as well. So saying that, I'll let Jeff go over the construction project, where things stand, and then we'll take questions.
Thank you, County Executive. As the County Executive said, our eastern reservoir continues to remain stable with inflows and outflows essentially equal to the positive. Emergency pumping continues to work well, and we have multiple backups available if any of the pumps go down. Canastota and Chittenango, the tanks there remain in normal ranges. Water sampling continues to show no issues with water quality. Current levels of water conservation continue to be a key factor in keeping everybody in water, though. Thank you to all of our customers, commercial, industrial, residential. Thank you also to the County of Onondaga and County Executive McMahon for the efforts today to distribute water that will actually lower the water use and help with conservation. Let me turn to the photo here on my right and walk you through. We did work, our crews did work throughout the holiday yesterday. From your far right to the left, you can see right here the red bypass pump that is pumping water from the creek around the work site so we can keep the work site as dry as possible. The metal sheeting here is going in with the pile driver. You can see we are very well along. We expect that, as you'll see in the next slide, to be done later today. National Grid, you can see here working. They've been great partners with us. Moving the lines as necessary. They actually move them, put them back, and then move them again, depending on where the pile driver is and the drill. We also have the light carts. You can see the light carts back there that we've been working around the clock to make sure this gets done in a timely manner. The repair trench down the middle, you can see the water in the trench. It is a wet site, but that trenching is going to help us get this done safely and efficiently. And finally, you can see on your far left the drilling rig that is put in these the wells you can see here with the cones to the wells you can see here, and they will continue on this side to the south side, and then they will backtrack and go off the north side. So that's the status of the site. Let me turn now to the timeline for repairing this. Okay. The metal sheeting, as I said, is going to be completed by the end of the day today. So we will have a tight site that we can get at and start the dewatering process. The dewatering wells are projected to be fully operational by Monday. So all 8 to 10 of those wells will be fully operational. It's key that they work together. We can't start one well because it just wouldn't be effective. So we are waiting for all those wells to start, and then we have to calibrate the pumps to make sure that they're pumping appropriately. The dewatering, trenching, excavation, and the removal of the existing pipe is projected to be completed by Friday, January 9th. And finally, the pipe bedding as well as the installation of the repair piping is projected to be installed by Friday, January 16th. So that's the latest updates we have.
Questions?
So just to clarify, the 16th is when we're expecting the water conservation to end?
That is what we are looking at right now, yes. It could be this could be done earlier. These are our projections right now. Water conservation requests could end sooner, but this is our best projection right now.
Again, what's just your message to the public?
Well, I think overall, thank you. This was a situation a couple weeks ago that there was a high probability that we would run out of reserves, and because of really the efforts of the community to change behavior. And today I was out at the distribution site, and a couple residents shared with me kind of different things that they were doing, and they not doing as much laundry as they normally do, and other things. And those are all small things, but it all adds up. And the proof is in the pudding, as they say. We had 20% reserves. Through this process, we've actually been able to increase the reserves because of conservation and the efforts of all of our partners and the team at OCWA. So what could have been a crisis now looks to be a managed process. And so thank you. Thank you to the public.
When exactly, I think we talked about this in previous press conferences, but when exactly did you know about the faulty pipe, that there was something wrong with the pipe?
Yeah, I think there's been some reporting that is a little inconsistent and inaccurate, to be honest. This particular pipe that we are working on, there's two different issues that happened in this area. There was a blow-off valve that was not connected to this. It wasn't on the pipe itself. It was a valve off of the pipe. That was in the summer. The particular issue that we are dealing with here, we were notified about it on the 21st of November. We attempted to make temporary repairs on 3 different occasions. That was not effective. So I really need to clarify that issue. There are 2 separate issues. What happened in the summer is not connected to what we are dealing with right now.
When was you said you found out about it November 21st is when you kind of had a clue. When was the first time that you actually got on the property to check it out and try to make repairs?
That was roughly 5 days later. So we were on the property. We completed the repairs on December 6th. But roughly right after Thanksgiving is when we got on the property. I think it was the Monday after Thanksgiving where we actually went and fixed the first leak that we saw on the main itself.
On this topic, I think you mentioned before that there was an initial leak that had gone on for some unknown time and you discovered it. And then as you tried to make repairs, did the leak get worse? Or at what point did you realize we have to shut the whole thing down?
So we had that first leak on the main itself. Okay, again, main itself versus a valve that's not even on the main. We fixed that, and then we tried to re-energize the system, and we saw that there continued to be a leak. So shortly thereafter, literally days thereafter, we had to shut it down again and go after that additional leak, and there actually turned out to be a third leak on the line when we dug up that second leak. So it was all during the month of December that this really came to a head, and we realized that we had to shut it down on a more permanent, on a longer term basis than the temporary shutdowns we had initially.
Were those second and third leaks possibly created after the first leak, or were all those there and it was just a matter of discovery?
That is just something we don't know at this point. As I've said before, it was extremely unstable, the soils in the area. We don't know exactly what the cascade of events was there, if there was a cascade of events. We addressed the first leak, and then the other leak followed immediately thereafter. We have not seen the pipe to see exactly what happened. We just know there was a more catastrophic failure, and we had to shut down for a longer period of time.
Once you get down there, might you be able to look at that pipe and diagnose, or is it going to be difficult even at that point?
We had to encase the pipe in concrete. To get at the pipe, we're going to have to get that concrete off. We don't know the status of the pipe once we have to get rid of the concrete and remove the concrete. So it's an open question. We'd obviously like to see what happened, but we're going to rely on the crews that are doing the work to let us know if we can see that or not.
Right. I mean, obviously the question that you have and everyone is, if there were 3 cracks in immediate succession in one area, what gives confidence that there won't be more in a similar area going forward? I mean, that's a lot of cracks in one season to find out about.
Very much so, and we are definitely interested to find out ourselves and to make sure that doesn't happen again. We will be looking very closely at this stretch of the pipeline, the transmission main, to make sure that we hopefully avoid this type of thing again. But remember, these are pipes that are buried deep in the ground. They are 60-year-old pipes. They are very, very high-quality pipes. But the bottom line is, you just don't know. It's not like above-ground infrastructure where you can see what it looks like. We saw a leak that was reported to us by the property owner, a relatively small leak compared to the amount of water that's flowing in there through that pipe. There's roughly 10 million gallons a day that is flowing through that pipe. These leaks were relatively small. If they were massive leaks, at least initially, we would have caught that, but they were not.
Just to clarify again, so the lawsuit in June has nothing to do with this leak problem here?
Absolutely, it does not. If you look at the papers, and I've seen what has been reported again, I've obviously know what the affidavit says. That said, it basically said we don't know what this leak on the valve, the blow-off valve, is going to be have an impact. It may have a more significant impact. It may not. The bottom line is, once we dug it up, we saw that it did not have the significant impact that we were concerned it might have. But we never once in that court filing said that we know for certain that there is a major catastrophic leak that's building up there. And in fact, it was not once we dug it up.
Other questions?
You've tried a couple times to repair this leak. How do we know that this process is different than previous times?
I think you can just look at how long we're taking, right? We looked at a several-day repair We got in there, we didn't stabilize the site like we are now. Again, this is what we do. We fix these leaks all the time. This was a very unusual situation. We did what we always do, which is get in there, address leaks in a timely fashion, use our tried and true methods. What turned out here, though, was to be highly unstable soils, something we had never seen in this area before. So that was unusual for us. And we had to make sure that we took the time to dewater the site, as I've talked about, make sure that we put the bedding down once it is a dry site, and then we can make sure that it's a more permanent fix.
Yeah, I think just to that point too, what's unique about this piece of infrastructure is it's a transmission line, right? It's a very long one, really important one that brings a lot of water. It's very big, right? It's compared to some of the other infrastructure. And I think to Jeff's point, the idea that you would stop the transmission line from functioning for an extended period of time showed the concern of what could happen if you continued business as usual for more damage to the infrastructure. And I think overall what's unique that we haven't seen since I've been doing this, and it's been about 20 years, is the soils around it. The idea that you have to pile steel so that it's safe to get people down to look at the pipe itself is really unprecedented for what we've seen. And so I think overall the fix of the pipe to make sure that the pipe's fixed is not abnormal. That's what is done daily with these teams working for Jeff. We have a sewer system that we manage. We have the same teams, our very same names. They know how to do it there. The city of Syracuse has water departments, that same players, right? So they're going to do a good job. I think what's different about this is that it is such a critical piece of infrastructure, being a transmission line, that wholesale infrastructure which brings water to many different end users, and the soils around it, that it wasn't safe enough to put people on the job. I think that's what's very unique here.
And I would just add, and I referenced this before, we have never had a break on this transmission main. So, we fully expected this to continue to operate as it has for 60 years. We fully expected that the conditions would be the same as they were when we fixed the blow-off valve in August, but that wasn't the case. They quickly became very, very difficult and challenging to deal with, and that's why we needed to do this permanent fix. Again, we want to get it right. We want to make sure our customers have water safely and securely and reliably for the long term. So that's what we're doing here.
You're talking about 2 weeks to have the new pipe in place. Is there a testing period after that, or when will you be able to get water flowing and make sure that this is set?
We are working with the health department on that, both the state and the county health department, to make sure that we do it as we always would do. We need to make sure that we repressurize the line, we test the line to make sure that it is safe to drink. So working with the health department on that.
So that would be days after?
It's unclear. It's unclear on how long that process would take. It could be days. We could start the process again. This is what we are projecting right now. We could get in there earlier and start to repressurize the line. So just a little bit of an unknown there on actually when the water will start flowing and we can serve customers with it. Again, as the county executive said, the good news is we are keeping everybody in water. So we want to get this repair done right, and that's what we're going to do while we continue to keep our customers all in water.
If the numbers continue to look good, is there a chance that the conservation effort could end before you have a perfect pipe with water flowing again?
There is that possibility. I don't anticipate that happening. We have made many, many changes to our system. At this point, we feel like any additional tweaks that we can make to the system will be relatively small. So we anticipate roughly being able to stay even. Of course, there's always that chance that there is something that goes wrong, a major break again, a major fire, and we will have to deal with that issue as it comes.
Yeah, I think overall, it's kind of math, right? So as long as we're using 3.5 million gallons a day, whereas before we were at 5, right now we've been pretty consistent as a community in that service area to hit that number or be a little below one day, a little above one day. We'll be okay, and then this will play itself out. So as long as we kind of stay the course here a little bit longer, we'll continue to look at distribution for bottled water to help offset some of this, make it a little bit easier for people. And again, we want to thank everybody because it's the community that responded, and if the community didn't respond, we would have, highly likely would have ran into a very tough situation.
All right, thanks everybody.
Good. Thank you.
Happy New Year.